Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco Peak Pro dab of the day. Today is Wednesday. Hello, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like today's video. And please send me your comments. As you know, I reply to every one of them. And now you can go on teespring.com and get some nice Senior Stoner merch for yourselves, shirts, and other cool things. Today's topic is going to be fear, because fear and phobia is one of the great mental anxiety disorders that face people of all ages. Interferes with daily life. So we got to talk about it, and we got to talk about really how to deal with these fears. Fear of getting old. Well, I'm 63. I'm old already, okay? You at a younger age don't worry about this, but when you get to be middle-aged, 50ish, you begin to think, wait a second, what happens when I get old? Will everything start breaking? These are real fears that people have. Well, guess what? I'm still here, knock wood. I'm an example that you get old, but you're still here. Okay, so fear of getting old is something that we have to all deal with. Fear of being poisoned is a big fear, believe it or not. Even though it doesn't correlate with environment. You could live at home, you could be with a wonderful family, you could go out to only great restaurants, but you still fear some type of poisoning. Fear of being a coward is very important. It's big, and it transcends male, female, age, because people have an innate sense of responsibility for others. Think about it. There's an innate charisma people have, and if you're unable to fulfill whatever that is, you have a fear of it, I think. People have germophobia. People have fear of bacteria and microorganisms. And hello, now with what's going on in the world, it's a very real fear. It's tangible. You don't just hear about people that wash their hands a lot. Now you're being told to do it. So it's okay to have certain fears, but maybe not go overboard with them. The fear of actually going crazy. Well, you know what? What if you've had mental illness in your family and you're worried about mental illness happening to you? That's a valid fear. It's a valid fear. So, believe it or not, it's an uncommon fear, but a very consistent fear. And it's experienced by those who have tangible experience with mental illnesses, unfortunately. My mother had an issue, so I've always feared my issue coming forth, let's say. There's a fear of intimacy that many people have, not just in 15 and 16-year-olds, also in 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds. What happens is that it's complicated to have relationships, intimacy, and a lot of times complicated things scare people. Well, guess what? Doesn't have to scare you. It's a matter of trial and error, relationships and intimacy. You just have to find the complementary angle to you so you feel comfortable. You know what? There's fear of bugs, of cockroaches, of snakes, of monsters, of demons. You know why? Because a lot of people watch a lot of TV. They see a lot of things fictitious. They read a lot of books. And people think these images and emotions that they see in these other places can become tangible. People fear social situations. Public speaking is a big one. Sometimes people fear open spaces, actually coming out of their homes. You know what? You gotta break it. You gotta break that first ice cube. You have to break it because you have to public speak in order to get over the fear. I had the fear very young, and then I did it all my life, from crowds of 10 to, frankly, 1,000, and it was very exciting. But the camera's on you, the light is on you, the heat is on you, so it's pretty stressful. So what happens is, these fears, these are big ones, the fear of public speaking and of getting out of the house, you need help sometimes. Sometimes it's important when you have these fears, if the fear limits what you can do in your life, you need to talk to someone and get professional help. And there are many ways to do that today. Fear of death is extremely common, mostly in anxious people like me. I personally worry about death all the time. When I feel really bad and I'm in the throngs of the pain, I say to myself, it's going to happen. But you know what? It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You don't pick your time and you don't get an appointment. So people fear death. Here's the summary page on fearing death. Don't do it. Don't fear it. Live your life. There's a fear of loneliness that people have. You know what? I can validate that that sucks. Loneliness sucks. So if you want to be afraid of loneliness, it's okay. How do you solve fear of loneliness? Anybody? Be with people. That's the only thing I can tell you to do to help you with that. You don't have to be a social animal, but you need to be with people. Do you know that people fear change? Do you know that people feel failure? People fear rejection. People fear uncertainty. They fear something bad happening. They fear getting hurt. And all these things, all these types of fears, there's a reason people fear them. They don't like being judged. People don't like being judged. They figure they're going to be judged harshly. Many people fear they're inadequate. So they fear that they're going to be limited by what they can do because they don't measure up to the other people out there. They fear that they're underachievers. But the fear of inadequacy, I've had it many years, is very deep rooted. Mine was from child abuse, to me. But you've got to face it head on. You've got to face it head on because you're never going to succeed until you finally feel worthy of your success. And people fear loss of their freedom. It can be health related where your freedom's going to be, I'm, God forbid, limited to a chair. I'm limited to a room or a house I can't leave. People fear the loss of freedom. So guess what you want to do? Ready? You don't have to keep your fears inside of you. It will make you stuck. Face your fears head on, one step at a time. Remember the circular world. You live in a Ferris wheel situation where you come around always to the top again, and what do you get? Hope and opportunity. Now, you can get your fingers on the windowsill. You can get your body inside that window. So whatever fear you have, guess what can happen? You can overcome it. Whoa! It went down, but I saved most of the water. Minor spill. You can help you. And that's the most important thing. You have to remember that unfortunately, all this type of stuff comes back on you. We, you, all have to handle these things ourselves, unfortunately. But guess what? You, me, we can do it. This is the Real Senior Stoner. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion on what people fear and how we can overcome those fears. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day. And thanks for watching The Real Senior Stoner. Cheers.